Welcome to the Politic Bear educational channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Legislation are the laws passed by the governing body. So basically, the rules recognized by a community regulating the actions of the members of that community. As Canadians, we need to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, has my community become better, stagnated, or is it worse off? The term community is no longer restricted to the physical location of where you live. For example, the internet has allowed online communities to develop that are as important to some of us as it is where we reside. If you were able to answer that your community was better off than in the past, you are quite fortunate and in the minority. For most of us, the opposite is true. Institutions designed to aid us are in decay. Education and healthcare are being ruined by underfunding and privatization perpetuated by reckless, uncaring provincial politicians. Income inequality has reached record levels. Housing is unaffordable, while grocery prices are rising faster than inflation. Journalism is rapidly being replaced by disinformation or threatened by active corporate suppression. The response from elected officials is status quo, baby. The top 1% get richer, the lower 90% poorer every day. The fix is actually shockingly simple. Proper legislation. Problem is, the majority of our elected officials suck at their jobs and will not do what is required. First, we must tax billionaires at 100% effective immediately. Billionaires wield far too much power and are not responsible to the public. They must be taxed out of existence. If you can't get by on $900 million, then there is no hope for you. Next, ban bank service charges on personal accounts with the exception of insufficient funds charges. Everybody needs a bank account to function properly in a modern society, and Canada's banks are insanely profitable year after year. Fees on personal accounts for not maintaining a minimum balance are nothing but a levy on the poor. Then we need to tie all public sector salaries to the individual median income level of the country. Currently, MPs make over 5 times this amount. It is appalling that our representatives and public servants make that kind of money while people electing them are barely getting by. Linking salaries and raises to this metric will result in our governments shifting their focus to increasing the median income level. The only way to do that is through the eradication of poverty, something our political leaders have been doing almost nothing about. The fourth item on my list is proper electoral reform to bring us out of the 1800s and into the modern era. The first past the post was acceptable back when it took 4 months for Vancouver to communicate with Halifax, but today that is no longer the case. We need proportional representation to increase engagement and give a better voice to the marginalized and disenfranchised in our society. Now, my personal favorite, legislation to force ethics back into Canadian politics. Right now, a politician can say whatever they want. They can make any amount of disinformation and there's no penalty. What we need is an ethics commissioner who has the ability to say, okay, you have lied publicly. Now, here's what needs to happen. If you do not, within 5 business days, publicly apologize and withdraw your statement, you are fined $20,000 per day until you do so. This is the only way to get our modern politicians to stop lying, to stop spreading misinformation, is to penalize them severely for it. Recently, the federal government announced its groceries and essentials benefit would increase by 25%, a rare example of good legislation. Food inflation accelerated 7.3% annually in January, up from 6.2% a month earlier. So this is sorely needed and greatly appreciated. But where is the money coming from? Not from taxing billionaires, that's for sure. Therefore, they could have and should have done better by taxing the super wealthy to pay for it. The 5 pieces of legislation I proposed will not fix everything, but it'll go a long way to putting Canada back on track to being the best country in the world. Thank you, folks. May you find prosperity and joy, or better yet, manufacture it by not voting Conservative.